Yo, people, welcome back to another stream of Two Up Front. I'm here with my brother Abs again. It's been a little bit since we spoke, but hey, man, big things are happening in the Arsenal world. So we said impromptu, nothing planned. Let's hop on the stream, man. Let's talk about it. Let's catch up and just express, I guess, how we're feeling and just basically just express ourselves. Basically, is the whole point of the stream, bro. So yeah, man, how you doing today, Abs?
Yeah, man, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. Obviously, with the game being in Australia, like I was up at crazy o'clock, man, trying to watch it. But
Mm,
yeah, definitely happy with the victory and obviously
mm.
a certain surprise a little bit later on, which I'm sure we'll get into.
We have to talk about it, man. We have to talk about it, man. But honestly, I feel like because it's been a while, like before we spoke, and also just I always like to take it a step back before obviously like today's game because I don't know how you felt, bro, but to me, I was looking at this game and I was very concerned because at the Arsenal of old, I feel like with everything going on, what we're fighting for, this is the kind of game that I start to the Arsenal of old faltering. I look at Everton and I say they have a very good away record right now. I look at Everton and say they're going to be set up in a way that's really going to hurt us. Understand? Like this could be a really bad day for us if we don't perform. So, and the reason why I felt that way, especially, is when I look at the previous performances, man. Because I don't know how you felt since maybe I think like the Brighton game might be like a good starting point. Obviously, we have Brighton. Then after Brighton, let me just remember the fixture is Brighton, then Mansfield, then Leverkusen. So obviously, all of those games gave us a feeling going into this one. But I want to get your take since we haven't spoken. It's like how you were feeling going into this game based on our recent form performances.
Yeah, I think it can go even further than that. To be honest with you, man. Going back to Brentford, like and drawing there. Just obviously flicking through the fixtures here. Brentford draw specifically
Mm.
in the Premier League. That is. Draw at Wolves. We obviously do get the away
Yeah.
win at Spurs. We get the win at Chelsea, but that wasn't convincing. The Brighton win wasn't convincing either. So like obviously going into the Everton game, even off the back of the 1-1 at Leverkusen as well. I mean, you're already looking at form that wasn't the best, man, and it's one of those. I was kind of worried because I think in a sense, right, like as in you've got the one hand where you just want to collect 3 points at the end of the day, man.
Mm.
But the performances, like as they were very concerning, man. I must say, man. So look, like I said, it was a bit of a treacherous kind of few games that we had obviously gone through, and obviously the draw at Leverkusen wasn't the greatest, man.
I don't even want to talk
Um,
on that a little bit, man. But that game was woeful, man. That game was so woeful. It's almost like we didn't want to. Like we're playing with such low intensity. That I'm like, do you players? Because maybe this is a good point to bring in. Also, like I don't know if you've been having these thoughts, but ever since, especially the Champions League draw, I was looking at the end of the season and I said, the mentality of our players, if you guys want to go down as greats right now, you guys have been given a blessed draw in the Champions League. See, have tougher games for you now. See, you're going to have to rotate more in the Premier League. That should mean that you should get a hold in the Premier League also. The Carabao Cup, there's no reason why you can't beat City. The FA Cup, who knows what can happen. So again, I'm not doing that whole like expectation of like, oh, quadruple. That stuff is nonsense. I think most teams don't do it historically for a reason. But still, there's so many things to play for, and it's all laid out so well in our path that I'm like, if you don't go into the end of the season with like the motivation and the hunger to like, if we literally win our games, we can pick up everything. Like, I think that's why that was the mentality side that I was like, I really want to see from these players. So yeah, I think that's what makes like that's what made that Leverkusen performance even more irritating to me. I'm like, why are we playing games here with this draw? Like, we need to be making sure that like it's not even the conversation between us getting into the semi-finals or not. But when we have performance like that, it's like, oh, is there a chance of a Bodo Glimt on a great day beating us because of how we're playing? So yeah, now to add to your point, basically, the performances going into this game have been very concerning, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also to add to that, you have to remember. I mean, look, on the flip side, you would argue that like as in we haven't lost the game, for a very long time, man. I think I believe it's the United game is the last one we've lost. So like,
Mm.
so albeit that we've obviously haven't been performing well. We've obviously been picking up points, and again, obviously the performances have been concerning. That is for sure. So, look, at the end of the day, like there's obviously two ways to look at things. I think it's fair to obviously look at, like as in the team's form and going into going into the business end of the season. However, you could also look at it and say, we're still picking up wins and we're still picking up points and going through to these competitions. Albeit the Leverkusen performance was a horrible performance, but we still end up getting the draw in that particular game. Whether that was a penalty or not. Like that's obviously
man. Listen,
there.
Yup.
But like you obviously got to take the rough with the smooth as well, man. So the fact that we got away with a draw after that particular performance. Like as in it's given us another opportunity to put things right at the Emirates,
100. I think you said it perfectly, man. I think we are in the business end of the season now. And sound like the great attacking football to see us flowing, that would have been great. But I think at this point now, it's probably not going to happen to a certain degree. But I think what we still want to see though, like, is again like the intensity in games that we're knocking on the door, we're trying to break a team down. That game just felt like we just weren't really we had nothing to basically like bring to the table in that Leverkusen game. So that was more like what I was looking at going into this Everton game. Because again, I'm like, I know this is a good Premier League team, want nothing more than to take points off us. If we go and play that kind of lackadaisical, we're not going to pick up the points. And City playing obviously later on in the day, I know if we had dropped points and City now go win, it's World War III. So that we had so much pressure on us going into this game. Yeah.
Could you also argue that we're looking at a situation of, where like as in this team has been in the running like 3 years in a row, right? So like as in they have experienced the tough nature of a title race 3 years in a row and have come up short all 3 times, right? So there's always going to be that bit of things are going to be tough. Number one, like I said, the nerves are going to be there naturally, man. But I think at the same time that they should be using that as a benchmark, as a platform. Like, where did we go wrong in the previous seasons? Losing games in blocks, I think was a massive thing in those 3 seasons, right? So losing one after the other, right? And on top of that, you obviously have a situation where like I said, but at this current moment in time, City are not the City that we know, and they're not playing as well as they're capable of, man. So so that's obviously something else to consider. But I feel like nerves is always going to be like as in a factor, and at the end of the day, we're in a position, and we're in a good position, man. So we just have to focus on ourselves. Nerves are going to be a factor, but I also believe that we're in that 3-point collection stage, right?
No, we
nothing
are.
but 3 points.
That's the most important thing. Yeah, that's the most important thing. But again, I think the reason why performances, I guess, are concerning is because you can see a world where very easily these performances tend to lead to us dropping points. I feel like it's that fair from an Arsenal fans' perspective. Sometimes I think is the issue. But yeah, like you said, like with all the complaints, they have still managed to have picking up more points than our rivals in this tough period of the season. And yeah, man, I don't know if you want to get into today's one, like, because I don't know, how did you find the game? And then what do you want to talk about?
So I really want to hear your take on this game, because
okay.
I remember I feel like at halftime, like I was looking at, I actually thought we played very, very well, man. I think the game is probably epitomized by Saka, because Saka had a disaster class against Leverkusen. Hooked off at 60 minutes. I think he lost the ball like 3 times. 3 times in like 2 minutes, I think it was. And I feel like he heard the critics, man. So he definitely had a point to prove.
Really? Okay. I wasn't too impressed with his performance today, I would say
actually,
I wasn't.
No, and that's what I said. That's what I was thinking. It's a kind of an interesting kind of point. But I really think like he got more touches. I think he drove at his fullback a lot more, and I think we actually played well in the first half. However, like Everton should have scored. Like we should have been down. Like,
man. A couple of the saves that Raya was making, and that Calafiori block. Oh my God, he did a scorpion block. That block was ridiculous, man. We go on to win this title. That's gonna be a key moment in this title race. Like that block was ridiculous.
It's definitely gonna be one for sure. Like as in because for me, like I actually thought like as in when I first I thought it was a right save. Yeah. But then obviously when they show the replay, they show like so. The thing is, like, he's got to be careful because if he does that,
that could have gone anywhere. I wasn't even going to talk about the deflection, but you're right. The injuries are a serious issue. You're right. That's the thing, man. Talent-wise,
his muscles are sacred, man.
Man. We have to look after him, man. But you know who else we have to look after, bro? To add on to your point, I think where today was one for me, man, was the lineup because I also was very happy with the lineup because I think to me, I'm now at the point now where I think our best team is going to be with Havertz. Gyökeres might need to come off the bench and make impact. I think I've just seen enough now to just say I don't think him starting every game that's not going to be us at our best at this point, based on what I've seen. Sure. So that I was very happy with. I like Madueke. I was like, you know what, it was a tough call. He's played well recently. Saka's not been great. I did like the fact that he played both of them, Saka and Madueke, because again, I love the left-hand side. Martinelli's been not done too badly recently, but I also wanted to see something different from Arteta. Like I wanted to see one of the reasons why I was excited with Madueke at the start is because I like the potential of meaning that Saka also could maybe drift a bit more and maybe play off the left sometimes. So he adds some variety to his game also. Eze, maybe that's one that we'll talk about. But in general, I was like, you know what? Based on the team that Arteta could have put out, I'm very happy with the team that he put out. And I felt like that was like a good starting point, which is why I think led to us playing better, especially in that first half, because one of the key things that happens when we play Gyökeres sometimes that because he's so messy with the ball, it means that we don't get to sustain or build attacks when we really should. But with Havertz, at least he'll maintain the ball to then enable us to get up the pitch to then pin the team back. With Havertz, we had the issue with like Havertz was like our build up is really good, but then there's no box presence to finish the chances. With that was like, the box with Gyökeres, like, well, if we manage to get to the box chance, he's definitely much more likely than Havertz to score. But then his overall game is so limited that it means that we get into the final third so much less than I think we do with a player that's more technically secure. So I feel like for me, the running for this season is also on us keeping Havertz fit, man. I think we need to really keep him fit. Like, because I think from the different Arsenals I've seen this so far this season, I think he's definitely in our best team. Like, regardless of what you think about him, just because of the options that we have. But yeah, what are you gonna say?
Oh no, I 100% agree with you. I was just gonna say, I think I remember seeing there was a snapshot in the game. Havertz comes to pick up the ball almost near Arteta, right? Like as in that kind of left 8 half space. But I see Mosquera up top, bro. I'm thinking like this is what you get with Kai Havertz in it. But look, I do agree with you, man. I think to be honest, I feel like both of them, like as in are going to be able to to provide something for us, man.
I think
because when you're looking at it as well, like as in I've always had a thought of Gyökeres being some sort of, I know Arteta mentions it, but some sort of a finisher, like as in these type of games, like as in running at tight defenses, after Havertz has obviously done his thing and whatnot, so but obviously it's going to be a really, really good dynamic and definitely going to be important for Havertz to stay fit.
And they also can play together as well. That's the thing. Because the way Eze's form right now too, Havertz can definitely also take that number 10 position before Odegaard comes back. So yeah, they also can play together. I think for me, it's pivotal that we keep him fit, man. I think this, like the injury records he had this season, I just feel much more secure in our. I know what to expect when he plays. The level of football at least be a certain level, which then is now on us now to finish the chances again, because he also has these limitations. But like overall, I would much rather the latter of like we are creating chances, we're getting into the opposition's third, and maybe we just need that finisher, like you say, or Gyökeres to come off the bench, run against tired legs. I think right now it just looks like at the start of the game he just doesn't have the facilities also like make his like the centre backs honest enough. Like he's a bit too easy to play against when he starts for us. So but yeah. I don't even want to add anything else to that.
I
see your question here too by Magic 8 Girl.
Yeah.
Do you reckon we pull through? Don't know if you want to add to that in your answer while you're talking.
Yeah. So I was obviously going to go into more or less well, again, it's kind of separate to what I was thinking, right? But
Okay.
I really want to touch on Eze's performance today. But to
Okay.
obviously answer the question, I do think we pull through. We're gonna get into why, because I
Mm,
feel like there's obviously more to this conversation. But I reckon we do pull through. But look, like I said, I wanted to kind of speak on Eze because I feel like Eze's form has been very, very patchy, to say the
mm,
least. And I believe it's when we signed him, I feel like we had a view of what he was going to be, and like as in, and maybe it hasn't turned out exactly that way. But I actually think today was a very good Eze game, man. I feel like he had a lot more touches. I feel like he
mm,
was involved a little bit more. I think his first half wasn't great. I think he had a better second half. Just trying to get into the game and being able to drive the team forward. I think he had opportunities where he could have shot and
mm.
didn't. But I really think that, like as in, he's starting to try and fill the boots, man. I mean, I don't think he's there yet. But I do feel, because I feel like you might have a bit of a different opinion on Eze.
No, you know
That's
what it
why
is.
yeah.
I think I agree. I actually not gonna say that he didn't perform well today. I feel like, but I think he's synonymous with, like, for example, that Leverkusen game, because Eze is so lackadaisical in how he plays. Also, it makes it even more frustrating when the overall team is also playing with such a low intensity. But I feel like today the overall team played with much more intensity in general. So I also agree with you that he got on the ball more and he was more a part of it. I think my thing is, like, when we need someone to be, like, we need our attacking talent to basically kind of also do something and pull us through, like have some moments of
Mm,
quality. And it's like he's like not getting enough touches to actually make anything happen. Like he's kind of just like ghosting in and
correct.
out. And even when he gets touches, he might try to do a flick, and it's like, oh, he's very loose with the ball as well. Sometimes it's like some composure to just like keep it and make sure that our team retains the ball. He might try a pass that just was never on. That's not even like oh, I respect it because it's creative. It's like that just was never on. So I think that's where he
But
frustrates me.
but what I
Like, oh
what I would
god.
say, but what I
Mm,
would say to counter
mm,
that is,
yep.
I feel like what you're talking about is Martin
Mm,
Odegaard. And I think
mm,
Martin Odegaard is a different type of like 10, or like as an 8
mm,
slash 10 in that case. He's a different type of player to Eze, and he's more of a high touch player. And he's more of the person that's going to keep the ball ticking, keep the ball moving, play passes, like he's a 100 pass player. I think Eze is
mm,
more of a final ball merchant, like as in and trying to affect the final third. And I feel like the further forward or further closer like he plays to the goal,
mm,
that's where you're going to see him most effective. And I feel like I did see him a lot in the edge of the box. I also think as well, and again we'll get to the sub, but when
mm,
some of the subs came on, and you obviously see Declan Rice kind of drop into the lone six, then you're
mm.
seeing him like dictate, like as in that top of the box area and stuff. Again, like there was obviously an opportunity where he could have shot and didn't. But like I said, man, I feel like, I mean, we can obviously move into the second half, because I feel like Everton were good in the first half, I must
Mm.
admit.
Also, you know what?
Again, like
Sorry
I mean,
to add on
yeah,
to that,
talk
in
to
the
me.
fact, like,
Yeah, of
before
course,
we
of course.
move on to the second, we're also quite fortunate too. Like, was it the shot? Was it like McNeil that hit
McNeil,
the post?
yeah,
Yeah, when he cut in, and I was thinking about it during the game too, that we've conceded. It's either a mistake by Arsenal or it's a rocket from outside the box. So there's definitely something there in terms of like how much space we give to play opposition, and the opposition realizing now that it's better to hit us with these long shots than to even try to break us down, because it's actually becoming like a real weakness that I'm noticing. Like, where like we also very easily could have been 1 or 2 down with a couple of the shots that Everton had from outside the box. Like, there's still feels that there's too much time there that the opposition gets when they manage to get into that central zone. I don't know if you, what your thoughts on that
No,
are
no, no,
before
no.
we move to second
I, I,
half.
I
Like,
agree. I
yeah,
agree completely, man. Because I also believe, that we're in, like as in, because we're defensively really, really good, especially in the box. Like you're always gonna have Gabriel Saliba, like as in marshalling, like as in the defense and whatnot. So I feel
mm,
like teams will obviously look into it. And I mean, look, I can think of 3 examples off the top of my head. I mean, the 2 goals at United.
Yeah.
You know, even the goal from Richarlison, I think it was
Yeah.
against
Even
Spurs,
the
you know,
Wolves
because
and the Wolves goal,
even the
the
Wolves,
first
yeah,
goal
man,
that,
the
yeah,
Wolves, yeah, I think it was I don't know if it was the
that
equalizer, I
makes it
believe,
2-1.
innit?
Yeah,
So
no, it makes it 2-1.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you know, you're looking into a situation like where you know like play teams know that you know they can't actually break down the defense, man. So they're obviously shooting from outside the box, and you know, like if that's going to be the situation, then obviously that's what it is, man.
Yeah, have to deal with
So
it. But yeah, but
so
as you were
obviously we
saying,
have to, yeah,
anyways.
we have to deal with it, man. We have to deal with it,
Yeah.
man. That's the main thing.
But yeah, sorry, but as you were saying, I guess the second half, what were your, I guess, yeah, thoughts on that? You're about to say, yeah, Everton, they were, yeah. How did you find it?
Yeah. So I feel like Everton again, and obviously in the first half, I think they were yeah, I reckon they were going toe to toe with us. They were going back and forth, and they were able to you know pin us and put some pressure. I also think we obviously played well, but I feel like we ramped up in the second half. You know, we were kind of on top of things. I think there was a save like really early on. Again, it might actually be something to note. You know, like as in conceding a corner very early
Oh,
on in
yeah,
the half.
yeah,
Obviously something that we've
yeah,
seen.
yeah. That
I think
Leverkusen
we saw it
goal,
obviously
like,
Leverkusen, correct, and then I think
yeah.
a couple seasons ago we've seen it against Bournemouth.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I
you
know
remember the
exactly what you're talking about. I
3-2 game.
remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
So definitely something we need
And
to
I
look
feel like
into,
I feel
man,
like there was
for
another
these
team that
guys.
happened to after that. So I feel like it was like a 2-game swing where we did it twice, where like a team would score within the first like minute of the match. I remember that. Yeah, but
Yeah, and it's not so much the first minute, but I think it's just kickoff, right? Like as in, you
yeah,
know, when the other team is kicking off, you know, and I feel like we're all like coming into the cold, and they're able to just kind of slice through us, you know, like a warm knife through butter, you know, like as in something obviously something that, you know, Mikel's obviously he has to look into it and stop. But look, other than that, I feel like we played a really good, you know, second half. But I think it was just a matter of, you know, um, breaking down the door. You know, I think
yeah,
Everton were
man.
always going to
It's,
be resolute. Everton were
yeah,
always going to be, you know, strong defensively. So it was obviously going to be up to us to be able to work out, you know, like as in how to unlock the key, man. And again, you know, I think the subs definitely helped, man.
we have to talk about the subs, man. We have to talk about the subs, man. Yeah, no, I think the subs helped massively because yeah, I think we definitely needed because it was also I also was thought I don't know if you were confident. I wasn't feeling confident at that stage as the game was going on. I was like, this just looks like a game that we're not going to score in. I think we're knocking, we're going side to side, but it just looks like we're just not going to be able to find that in that incisive pass to get through Everton. And it also looked like some of our players were also getting quite desperate. In terms of seeing like Saliba, Gabriel, seeing people just like take long shots where like it wasn't really on, but it feels more like from a point of desperation of getting a goal rather than like a logical. This is like a planned action. So I definitely was feeling that way, but yeah, nah, man, yeah, the subs came on and
But
definitely gave us that additional quality that we needed. We're gone.
I was also kind of gonna go back off that point as well. I actually think like, and this is going to be a key thing. And to be honest, again, we'll talk about the title race as a whole. But I feel like the anxiety in the ground. You know, I haven't been to the Emirates in a very long time. I know you have been, but like,
Yeah.
but there's some sort of an anxiety when we play at home and we haven't scored in like 60, 70 minutes. And it's like there's that kind of fear, you know, like, oh, we're gonna drop points here. And sometimes, man, that goes on to the players as well, man. You know, like as in they obviously it's easily they can feed off that anxiety as well.
I hear that, man. But I think this comes back to like the mentality thing though that I was saying about earlier. That is like I don't want this to drip on the I'm going to go into the players. Like, if it's like it's going to be a late, but you're knocking the door, the intensity stays the same. I'm all good with that. What I don't want is like now, like people are just making dumb decisions out of desperation to get a goal. I think it just makes us less likely to score also. So again, but I think you said it earlier, and I think this is where. If we're going to analyze this fairly, I think we do have to acknowledge the fact that, like, again, this will be the first title for a lot of these players. This is a new experience for them. Hopefully going through the running and actually being successful at the end. So as human beings, there's definitely going to be that added pressure or that added like context behind
those nerves, man, for sure.
Like, but then I think the thing with elite sports is that you have to deal with that. If you're meant to be the guys that are going to get us this title, you have to be the squad of players that are able to rise above all the pressure, even from the fan base, and still deliver the success. And then that success will then also it will also reduce the anxiety going forward because we're anxious for a reason because of the number of years that we've also done nonsense and what's happened over the last 3-4 years. So like I feel like it's kind of like a chicken and egg thing where the players definitely
but I also believe that the mentality for the players, of course, has to be, or has to change, right? But I also do believe that the mentality of the fans, like, also has to change as well. Because I think, and again, it's probably something that we can look into, as kind of time goes by, right? But like, as in, we haven't won the league for 22 years, I think it is now, yeah. Like people are dying for this, right? But at the same time, it's like some of the performances, they haven't been great, but we're going for a title at the end of the day. So again, fans need to be ready for the ride, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? They need to know that, like, this team, they're obviously doing the best that they can. The manager has been there for 6 years now, and for all intents and purposes, he should be doing the best that he can as well. No matter what you think of him, but it's one of those. It's like they're trying to get things over the line, and I have a sneaky feeling that it's gonna be this season, man. But not to veer off the game too much.
I guess to even add on to this, obviously. Initially, I was thinking the first subs were Martinelli and Gyökeres. So again, give us something a bit different, more direct. But then I think it's the second group of subs that come on that maybe we definitely need to talk about, which is when Hincapié and DOWMAN come on. But yeah, what was your opinion from that?
Yeah, so also just a quick shout out to you and Timber. I'm hoping, because obviously people got knocked, so I'm hoping nothing's too serious. And I actually think as well, Mosquera, like in his place, played a lot better. Obviously, I know that he's obviously kind of struggled in the last couple of games. So hopefully Timber's nothing too serious there. But yeah, man, look, again, I think obviously Gyökeres coming on and Martinelli was always going to give us kind of the thrust going forward. I actually thought Madueke played all right. Probably wasn't because there wasn't much end product kind of there, but I think it was busy. But again, I think it was when you obviously have a player, 15-year-old, 15. He's 15.
16. Yeah, he's 16. Yeah, 16.
Nah, I got to fact check now. I'm pretty sure he's 15.
Nah, man, he's definitely 16 now. There's no way that he's doing.
But again, you're looking. You're looking
16.
At a player
31st of December.
Yeah, 16. Correct. Yeah. So you're looking at a player that epitomizes, football, or as one of our mutual friends, football, as in FUTBOL, bro. Like, look, again, we'll obviously go into it, man. But I think the game turns on its head as soon as he comes on. I think the first thing he does, it's a 5-yard pass. Yeah. The second thing he does, he just drives and goes forward, and it's like the kid has no fear, bro. Like, it's ridiculous, bro. Like, as in at his age, and I think the one thing he does, right, like, as in, and again, to be fair, Martinelli is actually involved in this part as well. I'm not too sure but like, he gets obviously ball goes in. I think someone throws it in. And the ball's at his feet, and he takes a second and he just whips an incredible ball in, which I don't think we've seen in the whole game. The whole game, right? And the quality of what he does to put the ball into an area, Jordan Pickford has to make a decision. He's obviously made the wrong one trying to go for it, and then obviously that leads to the first goal, man. Which obviously Gyökeres scores, which, by the way, I have to say, one thing about Gyökeres is that goal, I may be wrong. Someone might need to fact check me on this, but I think it's the first goal he's scored to get us into the lead. Not the goal to win us the game. Non-penalty goal. Because I know he's
that can't be the case, because the Spurs game were 1-1. He makes it 2-1 in that game.
No. Was it 1-1?
Yeah, it was 1-1. Second half, start of the second half, he gets the goal that makes it 2-1 in that match. So yeah. So it might be maybe like before, but yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
But my point is that, like, as in the Gyökeres goal is a very, very important goal.
It is.
And I feel like it actually, like like as in it just kind of euphoric in the stadium, number one. But it's just that relief as well. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, as in, I know we all would have felt the relief, but I think that goal, that goal was made by Max Dauman. I think it's in Cappy. I believe that obviously gets the assist and whatnot. But that goal
that's all in the past, man. It's 100%. All in the past. Like, and like you're saying too, man. Yes, the fearlessness and it's the technical ability at that age as well. Like, I remember, I think it was the Brighton Carabao Cup game when he played Brighton, which I think was his first start. And I was in the stadium that day, and me and my boy that were watching, we were like, we couldn't believe what we were watching. That this 16-year-old was taking these grown men down the wing and just ripping them for fun, like running past players, having to get fouled for them to get him off the board. They're having to kick him now because they're irritated. So from that now, and then seeing that today where he, like you say, you come on and he's just dribbling through these players that other people were struggling to get past, like with ease. Like, just the natural talent is like I was watching that game, like, wow, like I've heard the hype and I've seen it, like, it coming, but this was like my game where I'm actually like, we actually have a ridiculous talent on our hands, like a ridiculous talent, like no. So yeah, I agree with you, man. He definitely, I think he was the pivotal. I've all the sub that came when he was definitely the pivotal sub that changed it, man. Because the quality of 100%. That pass, and then obviously,
100%. And I think again, another shout out to Hincapi as well. Like, as in just the fact that, like, as in he's just, he puts in a crazy tackle. Remember, you see that tackle that he puts in?
Yeah. He said, "Nah, man,
like I said,
no point of view."
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But look, I think we've obviously got a, because more time the tackle comes obviously before, like, as in the goal actually. So obviously, the tackle from Hincapi was crazy. But again, like, it's just because obviously the goal was a corner, isn't it? So it's one of those ones. It's one of those ones. The subs definitely changed the game. But I think, and to go back to the original point, right? Like, as in the lineup allows you to make those subs as well, right? Like, as in, to give, Martinelli, Gyökeres an opportunity to run at, tired legs, and I feel like, and you tell me if I'm wrong, because we're about to talk about the goal, right? But Max Dauman, like, he's in the picture now. Like, you can't do this. We can't do this. He's too young. Yeah. Because he's come off the bench and he's made an effect on the game, bro. So we can't do this. Oh no, he's too young. We can't put. We can't put him.
Yeah, I try to put him back in the box. Like, no, you can't put him back in the box. Like, he's out, man.
That's it. He's out. Man. I agree. He's out, and Arteta has to now trust him and has to now use him like he's any other player in the squad, man. So, like I said, man, we obviously got to talk about the goal. Bro, talk to me. What was your? Because I feel like he still had a lot to do.
He did have a lot to do.
I think he dropped two defenders, bro.
The second one was the filthiest one, man. Like, it was the shimmy, sent him on his way to the shops, and then continued. And I got up and I screamed, bro. I said, nah, we have a ridiculous talent. Because to run across the pitch like that, beat two man, take them out of the game, and have the composure. I said, nah. That was my final. I'm converted now. Like, we have generational talent on our hands, man. That was my reaction, because I couldn't believe like the quality and the fact that he was even confident enough to go. And I thought at some point he was gonna like make the pass. He said, nah, like, I'm not making the pass. I'm getting mine. I'm getting mine.
And it's one of those ones, like, at the end of the day, like, sorry, we got a comment here talking about Chido Obi over DOWMAN. Let's wait for one of them to make their Premier League debut. Let me just say that.
Come on, man.
Let me just say that.
Let's get serious.
Anyways. So moving that one across. Look, bro, it's ultimate confidence, man. Ultimate confidence, and I think even to the point. I think there was one of the chances that Eze should have hit. And he lays it off to Max Dauman, and he has the confidence to even hit that. Even obviously the ball goes over, but like, you think of how many like attacking actions did he involve himself with?
in
You
that
know, as
little
soon as he
time on the
comes on,
pitch,
the
yeah.
guy, the little time on the pitch.
And
man,
I feel like you can see how much the other players rate him as well. The fact that just like,
they're
yeah,
giving
take
it
the
to
ball,
him.
bro.
They're giving it
Like,
to
they're
him,
giving it to him, like,
you
yeah,
know?
bro, win us this game.
Like,
like, like,
it's incredible, man. It's incredible, man. So look, at the end of the day, man. Look, he comes on. He basically has a pre-assist for the first goal,
yeah,
and he gets his first goal of the season. I believe he is the youngest Premier League scorer
player
of all
ever,
time,
yeah,
man.
man. Takes it off Wayne Rooney. Like,
Yeah, it takes off Wayne
how
Rooney.
long that?
So
Yeah,
that record's been up for ages, and I feel like this isn't a flash in the pan, man. I feel like we have a real talent on our hands, man, and
yeah.
you know, it's obviously going to be you know, down to the club to obviously look after him and you know, like nurture him, his talent, and you know, we obviously don't want some sort of a burnout, but again, I mean,
And also too,
what,
like, to give credit where it's due, man. Because again, Arteta, he gets the criticism when he deserves it, but I feel like when he deserves some credit too, we need to give it to him, man. Because I know when he first started, there was that big thing about Arteta of like not trusting the youth players and maybe just going to the senior players that have let us down time after time. And it was actually even him going to the youth players eventually with the Smith Rose and the Sackers that probably even saved him, that even enabled him to get to where he is today. But I think we move now. I think we can definitely say that, yeah, if you're good enough, he will give you the opportunity. Like,
yeah.
if you are,
It's like if
you actually are good enough, yeah, like you do get
age
minutes.
age is not going to be a factor in this no more. You know, like I said to you, man, like he's out now. Like, as in, there's no going back here. So it's obviously one of those ones where I feel like he's obviously an amazing talent. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I guess to add on to that, I don't know if you saw this question by David Shy. What do you think of Bukayo Saka? Surely DOWMAN is knocking on the door to become a regular now, which again is exactly what you're saying, man. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit on Saka, because I've been seeing online, obviously, like his performances recently, and also too, it looks like there's kind of like been like a tide against him. I don't know what your take on all of that is, but yeah, I've definitely seen like it's definitely become cool to like, yeah, be like, oh, 300 grand, wasting money.
There's a Bukayo Saka argument, man, at the moment, man. So look, what I would say about Saka, I think definitely he's been probably his poorest season. I think there's no kind of hiding that. But I believe that he's still a quality player, still a talented player. But I also think now, like, he's obviously got a lot to look. He's probably got a lot in the bank. I mean, I believe he's like played. I think he's the youngest player to hit 300 games for Arsenal. I heard that today or something.
Okay, I don't even know if he's the youngest, but I know he's hit 300 games, which is crazy. Yeah,
man. So you know, like I said, he's played a lot of football, man. You know, and he starts for Arsenal, starts for England. You know, that's a lot of games, man. So look, at the end of the day, I think he's just bad. I also believe that the injuries haven't helped him so much. So
and to add on, I also think he's the consequence of like us not also being a fluid attacking team also, where it's like it's kind of everyone in that attack, no one looks good in that attack. That's why when I see like the people pinpointing him, I get the expectation of like, yeah, franchise player, probably the highest paid player. I get the what's it called, the like criticism of him, like 100%. But I also think there definitely is like a forgetting like where we were and what he's done, and just be able to just put it to the side that he's having a bad season, not that he's a bad footballer. I feel like now it's becoming like people actually are like, he's a bad footballer. I'm like, I don't agree with that. I think he's just not had a great season.
Like, I think you know, you have to also remember, like, as in what he has done, you know, and you know, it's whether he has a credit in the bank. I do think this has been a poor season, and you know, it's up to him, you know, to obviously bounce back. You know, so there's still obviously a lot of football to be played this season. And there's still things on the line as well. So he just obviously just has to do his thing, man. I think DOWMAN knocking on the door again. I obviously want him in the room. You know, he's out of the box, but maybe a starting position again. You know, like, as in he's not a senior player, right?
Yeah.
I believe he hasn't even signed his professional contract. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or something. I think I heard that as well.
Being honest. Okay, I don't know.
But again, that's obviously another thing entirely. But look, for me, him, you know, Ethan Waneri is in kind of like a similar spot for me, right? Like, as in where you know, like, as in just you want them around the squad, you know, like, as in and if they're ready to start and they're ready to play for the team, man, you know, that's got to be the most important thing, man. So yeah.
Yeah, no, so you're right though. Yeah, so he signed a pre-contract agreement announced
Mm-hmm.
January 2026 to commit his future to the club with a professional contract set to take effect when he turns 17 in December
Mm-hmm.
2026. So yeah, so you're right.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a full professional contract. So yeah, but hey
Yeah,
man,
man.
that's why again I think we've done well to give him these opportunities even at a young age when we saw the talent, to just let him also know that like you will get your opportunity here if you are good enough, and clearly he is good enough. But I agree with you. I wouldn't, I don't believe in like putting that kind of pressure on him also in terms of like this
100%.
title race.
100%.
That should not be his expectations. Like Saka gets the criticism because there's pressure and expectation on him. I also don't think that he should be like starting games now where it's like we're criticizing for not for what he's not doing. I think it needs to be games like this where it's like the senior players have been knocking, they haven't got the job done. You let him with fresh legs come off the bench and punish because the talent is there. Like I think if
For
it's from
sure.
that perspective, then I agree. I think he's knocking on the door from getting more minutes, and like 60th minute, the game is not looking good. Maybe you need to give him half an hour. Like it's not
Give him
like
half
give
an hour,
him like
man.
the
Yeah,
last year. Give him half an hour. Maybe
that's
that's
yeah.
what needs to start happening more and more. Like as long as he continues performing. But yeah, man, he's a ridiculous talent, man. So yeah, we're definitely blessed there. And again, the way football works, Saka was our boy wonder, like the guy that when we couldn't see any light, he gave us some talent in a squad that was just depressing us and letting us down throughout our childhood. Like I guess
100%.
up to this point, post like obviously the later end of Wenger. So yeah, so Saka, I always
Yeah,
give
for
him so
sure.
much respect for that. But at the same time, there's now another kid that's coming up behind you that's
Mm,
super talented. So you also
mm.
have to continue raising your game, or otherwise, unfortunately, Elite Sports, he will take he will take it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I think
100%,
Darwin is
man.
like he's pushing from the other side where it's like he will take it. So it's also on Saka now to really wake up and I guess show us that he like is still the senior player when it comes to the two, and
Correct.
Darwin is still the
Correct.
understudy. That's Saka's responsibility.
Correct.
But I still give him. I think he has enough credit in the bank to like to have the opportunity to at least try to prove himself in that way, even though he has
No,
had
for
a
sure.
poor season so far. So
For sure. For sure. For sure. So I mean, look, obviously the win obviously puts us initially 10 points clear.
yeah.
I know obviously I was feeling very, very relieved.
Mm,
Um, and like as in definitely happy. And
mm,
then I go to sleep. So if you want to
yeah,
fill
you
us
didn't even see
in,
what happened. Oh, you didn't even
I
see what
didn't even.
happened. You
Do you know
didn't even
what?
see what happened.
I put my trust in God and I
Oh,
went to
bro,
sleep.
listen, I think I only caught like maybe the last like half an hour of the game, but like I
Hmm.
was watching it and I was like, there's no way that Man City are going to drop points this game. You know, you still have that. You know what City do. You have the expectation that they're going to get that goal. I'm sure a lot of City fans are watching our game and saying that, like maybe this is the game the Arsenal drop points, or understand. Like I don't know whether they're confident, but yeah. But so I was watching the game thinking, there's no way this is going to happen, bro. And just as the game went on, West Ham were resolute. West Ham also had some decent chances in the break that they even could have probably even won the game themselves. That I'm looking at the City game and it's kind of like what we've been kind of saying for so much of this season. Why it's so annoying to me that it's so tight is because again, this is nowhere near the City teams of old. That the reason
Definitely
I think
not.
that's what was annoying me, that the fact that we're even making it this close to a City team that's not as good is more of an indictment on us than even City, if that
Correct.
makes sense.
Correct.
So today was just like another indication of just everything I've been thinking this season of like just this City team. They're great going forward. They can get goals on their day. They're fluid, but they're vulnerable. Like they can be hit on transitions. They can, what's it called? Like when their shooting boots aren't on in a certain day and they don't get the second and third goal to kill it off, you get days like this, man. So yeah, man. So yeah, like you're saying, you fell asleep. West Ham did us a massive solid. Got their point. Added more pressure on Spurs as well for that relegation battle. It's a win-win-win, man. Win-win-win. But yeah, what was your reaction when you woke up and you saw
Yeah, look, I
saw the
woke up.
final result?
Yeah, you understand, man. I think it's, uh, in a sense, it's like, seeing them drop points, and it just means that, like, again, and I think I can tie it into the question that we have in the chat, right? Like, you
Mm,
know, surely, like, there's obviously, if we're looking at, the fixtures, we have them we have them in the cup final, so
mm,
again, and again, we'll obviously get into the games in the future, but like, we've put ourselves in a massive position, as in where I think, if we're if we're perfect and we obviously do our job, man, we 100%, we can close this title off, man. And
100%,
and
man. Like,
it's one of those ones where, like, as in you wake up and it's like euphoric, man. It's like we already
yeah,
won
we
the
did our
game.
job. Like, well,
And
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
you win it twice. Do you get what I'm saying? And
Yup.
it was
Yup.
just a
And
beautiful,
again, I
beautiful
always
feeling,
think
man.
of because you always have to, again, we drop points today or we lose the game and then see you go on to win.
Mhm.
You think of that reality and it would have been a dark, dark reality, man. Because again, I think that's where you
100%.
can just see the slippery slope happening of like Arsenal buttling in, the pressure's getting to them. They beat us in the cup final, and now it's like, and also I don't know how you felt. I was actually quite upset that City I actually do want City to come back against Madrid. Like, I need them to have that double leg against Bayern, man. I don't need them to be resting up in between, so I need them to rise. But the way they're playing right now, it's not looking good. It's not looking good, man.
Nah,
But yeah,
it's not
so
looking good.
it
It's
was
not
like
looking good.
it was another win, man. Like 9 points clear now, 3-game swing. What, like less than like 8 games
Obviously,
to go?
I mean,
Like,
I know they got the game in
7 games to
hand.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, they got the game in hand, obviously, against Palace. I don't think that's obviously been rescheduled as of yet. But at the same time, I think you're looking into a situation where they have to. I mean, I don't think it's wrapped up. I don't think so. But they have to be perfect, including against us. Like, we don't
Yeah.
even need to win that game. Like I said, when we go
Yeah.
to the Etihad.
And
Again,
when you know they have next, they have Chelsea, who also fighting for their lives. I don't know whether they can provide us with anything, but they also got things that they're fighting for. That's another positive of the day, bro. That's another shocking result that I didn't see
100,
coming. Like, so
100%,
hopefully
man.
they can take points from each other, and it's a win-win for us. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think what makes it so good is the realization that yes, this City team also will continue to drop points. I do think City teams of old, we probably could have slipped up because I think we're not infallible enough that I'm super confident that we will also just go on and win all our games. But in the balance of like who's going to be more consistent based on everything that we've seen, I think it'll be shocking. I can't see us slipping up at this point. I just don't think City are good enough to like put us under the pressure that they need to for us to slip up. If that makes sense. But and I see a second question. Just adjust this so I can get out of the way a bit because it's in my way. But I want to ask you guys. I want to ask you guys, assuming some changes will be made to our squad in the summer, who would you be willing to actually let go? That's a very good question, because while you're talking about Maneri being in the same boat, DOWMAN is there. I look at my boy MLS, man. I look at Lewis Skelly and I say, like, there needs to be something has to give here. Like, something has, because he's also another very talented young player who's again not in his developmental period of his career isn't playing enough football. That's like we all kind of have that vision of him in midfield. Is Arteta ever going to really trust him to play in midfield? So it's like, if that's not going to be the case, and Arteta's going to be here for another few years, unfortunately, as sad as it makes me, that might have to be the kind of player that we have to now start looking and saying that it's unfortunate based on the manager that we have, based on where you want to play, based on the team, you might have to make space. But again, I don't want that to happen. But that was my initial play that I'm really concerned about going into this summer, of like what his Arsenal future looks like because of the talent that he has also. But I want to keep him in the squad too. But I think I'm looking at the manager and saying that how much does the manager trust him? And I'm not seeing any confidence that the manager trusts him. So at that point, a decision has to be made. But yeah, that was one that came to mind. But yeah, who else are you thinking? Because yes, sorry, I was 1 second. I also on that too. I also feel like looking at our squad as well, again, we always had that left winger position of who was going to come and take that, be the superstar there. Obviously, Eze, I don't think most of us really think that's really him right now to really cement that position and be that superstar signing. I look at our midfield as well. I look at, again, like Zuamendi too. I think he didn't have a bad game today, but he's also been someone that's been really frustrating me in games of late also. I feel like with his performances where I feel like he is meant to provide us with more defensive solidity, which is why he's playing with Rice. But then we feel much more open than we've ever felt before. Does that make sense? So it's like it feels like what we gaining for the for playing a more defensive-minded player next to Rice. Also, we're not strong enough defensively. So I feel like that's another position that we have to look at. Like going forward, how do we get more creativity going forward between the number 10 and that Zuamendi position? So I also feel like our midfield is another one that has to be looked at this summer. Because I look at the profiles and I still say that this is not also the football I want to be playing long term too, where it's like we also need a set piece to break a team up. We need to have those creative, talented players on the pitch that also can crack down these low blocks, which we still struggle to, like regardless of us again picking up results, regardless of like I guess how we're playing. But yeah. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah. No, I agree with more or less everything you're talking about. I think obviously the MLS thing is obviously something to, again, a watch this space type of situation. I really think he's a very, very talented player, and I definitely don't want to lose him. I think he's obviously someone that we obviously need to keep an eye on. I believe if it wasn't for Calafiori's hamstrings, he definitely would have got an opportunity against, I believe it was Wigan. I
Yeah,
think
it was. Yeah.
So again, that's obviously one thing. Obviously, we need to look into. I think obviously looking at answering the question as well. We've obviously got Ben White is obviously one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe one
Yeah.
of, or even both of the left wingers, Trossard and Martinelli. I think they might be obviously getting to a particular stage where they obviously can't go any further than what they are, man. So again,
what do you think about the striker position also, man? Because even that, I still don't feel satisfied. If I'm being honest, like I still don't feel satisfied. I don't know what your opinion on that is. Like,
look,
I like Havertz. I'm a fan of him, but again, I still know the limitations that he brings. Like, look at your question. I don't think he's our future in that position either. So
I think it's all gonna depend on who's available in the summer, right? Because if someone's available in the summer, then cut your losses. Again, I feel like they've given us, they've given us good moments, but I feel like we're looking for an elite forward, man. I think there was only one on the market with Isak, and I think he only wanted Liverpool. But I think that the striker thing is all going to depend on who's available in the summer. If you have like a Julian Alvarez, or something along those lines. I'm not his biggest fan, but Victor Osimhen, like I said, there's obviously another player that is.
No, I don't see that one happening because Arsenal have had a couple chances to sign him and they just said no.
Yeah,
so,
they haven't obviously.
Yeah.
They obviously haven't taken it. So, again, look, I mean, we can obviously go a little bit further into,
I think let's answer this last question that has come up, and then we'll go into what the future looks like. And another question: do you agree that Arteta needs to work on man management when it comes to phasing plays out of the squad? ESR Ramsdale, since he literally just drops them entirely. It's a good question, but I don't know if I'll say Arteta, because I feel like this is a thing that actually happens in football a lot. Because I've also heard players from other teams talk about this, where it's like one day everything is good, the manager loves them, they're talking all the time, arm on the shoulder, and then there's a switch where like now the manager's not really talking to you, you're a bit out in the cold, you're even now thinking, like maybe I need to start. So I think it's a thing that happens with a league. I'm sure like Pep, I'm sure all these other managers, I'm sure they all do it to a certain degree, where there's certain players that they believe, or they want to like invest that interpersonal relationship with. And I feel like there's some players where they just kind of in their mind, they're like, you're kind of out the door if I have my way type situation. So I don't know whether like when you say he needs to like he needs to work on man management. I don't. So do you feel like maybe like someone like ESR, Ramsdale's probably ESR? Like, do you think he? Okay, cool. Sorry, cause I'm thinking as I'm thinking where he needs to do better is like I agree. Someone like ESR, I also feel like the phasing out was too drastic in terms of. I also don't think he had enough opportunity to even turn it around at a certain point. I feel like when he got dropped, he kind of just got dropped and never got trusted again. Maybe that's where there is some element of like not just completely icing out these players that we know have talent also and giving them some opportunity, especially when other players in their positions aren't also performing to a high enough level. Maybe from that perspective, but I think in the bigger point of it, I think it's something that just happens with elite management a lot. From just what I've heard, like different players at different clubs talk about to kind of answer your question. That's my thoughts anyway. But yeah, what do you think, Abs?
Yeah, I think when we're talking about his man management, I think Arteta strikes me as a person who has his favorites. Not favorites is probably a bit too harsh, but I think he has, like as in a team that, like as in obviously I'm going to run through him and do those things. I think again, just in terms of the ESR and Ramsdale situations, I actually think, to be honest, ESR didn't live up to his expectations, but it's probably my thinking there. And Ramsdale, I don't think Ramsdale was the player that he wanted. I think he always wanted David Raya, man. So I think that's always going to be in the back of his head. So as soon as David Raya was obviously available, He's obviously gone for him. So, look, I think his man management, I would say it's slightly improved. To be honest with you, I feel like
What do you?
beforehand,
I know our mutual friend
um,
loves to do the whole when Martinelli misses a big chance. Have you seen the compilation? Oh, Martinelli! If he
no,
scores that
no,
today,
no.
that's maybe where he needs to definitely be better. I don't like that when we barely create a chance in the game because I see other teams miss chances after chance. Martinelli misses one big chance, and then Arteta has to say in the press conference, like, yeah, if he scores, I think what I want is the accountability of, and I think this is where I feel like sometimes there's that difference in like what we want and what actually Arteta wants. I see that there's a difference because to me, I want us to have 10 chances and Martini can miss a couple of them and we score. Whereas Arteta's like, I made you that big chance. If you score that, the game is different. And that's where he focuses. But I'm like, no, you need to focus on the fact that we don't create enough chances. That one big chance that he missed is now a problem. Like, so again, I think that's where like maybe the thing about Arteta and like where he leads in terms of like I like releasing the chains and just allowing players to like go for games. He's definitely more of a like, let's take it easy and let's try to pick our moments. And if we get a big chance, we need to try to take it. Whereas we want, let's flood them. And even if we miss loads of chances, it's okay because we still flood them and we won the game. Like, but yeah. So I think that's where management there needs to be a bit
100%. No. To be honest, I gotta agree, man. I actually think he kills Martinelli, man. Every single time. Like, as in, if he misses a big chance, but you're gonna expect him to obviously make a comment in the press conference, man. But look, it's one of those ones at the end of the day, man. Again, we obviously have to improve as best as we can, and obviously he needs to obviously improve his man management when he can as well, man. So that's obviously gonna be the main thing, man. But
should we get into I guess what our kind of our thoughts as we head into this final running of games? Obviously, we have that big clash against Leverkusen coming up, a must-win game that we have to get past. Obviously, we have the Carabao Cup final against Man City. Again, I don't know how important you think the winner of that is going to be. What's it called? And then, obviously just a final, just every game being a cup final in the Premier League. Talk to me. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. Look, I think obviously just looking into the Leverkusen game, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Just to see how we obviously go about things. I think obviously going to the Emirates with the draw, instead of obviously being or instead of a deficit, is obviously key. It means we can basically start the game again realistically. And whatnot. So I'm expecting, especially us at home, with the crowd behind our backs, to obviously push the team.
Emirates should be rocking.
Emirates should be rocking them, and we have a different type of freedom, and when we're in the Champions League at home, so obviously come and get some good wins against Bayern. Atletico Madrid as well. So it's going to be very, very interesting game. But it's one that I think we'll obviously get over the line, and then then it's obviously the cup final, man. I'm just having a look at Man City's fixtures, man. Like, as in, they've got literally, they've obviously got us in the cup final. They've got Liverpool in the FA Cup quarterfinals. And then they play Chelsea away, and then they play us.
Again, those are the kind of things I look at and I say that the draw, our luck of the draw in a lot of the cup competitions this year has been amazing. We cannot complain, man. We've managed to lock out and avoid the teams and allow the big teams to also knock each other out, which is where when the stars align like this on the players, it's just like, on any day, I know you're good enough to beat anyone. So just approach the game from that perspective. But go on, as you were saying anyway.
Yeah. And look, I think that game, the Carabao Cup final, is going to be massive. And again, it also ties into I think Jim Legacy.
Let me bring it up.
Last point.
I know you said I heard you want to talk about the future. So do you think that will be a more free-flowing team / take more risks once we win some silverware, since the players will have that weight lifted off them? And honestly, I think we touched on it a little bit earlier in the stream, but I don't know if you want to I guess your take on
I mean, I was just going to obviously answer kind of the question about the cup final, and I feel like, as in, there's that anxiety that we play with because they haven't done it, and this is an opportunity to get it over the line. It's a one-off game. We're playing at Wembley. We're historically pretty good at Wembley. We're facing a side that isn't playing at the best of their ability, you know, and you know, has faltered. So this is a real opportunity for us to obviously go into that game and you know, like Rob Man City's train, man, you know,
Bro, listen, treat them how they
and
used to
take
treat
a
us when we were down in the mud.
yeah,
Like,
100%. 100%, you know,
yeah.
and I feel like you know, we're in a good spot. We're there, and all we need to do is play our game. You know, I think to obviously to kind of answer the question a little bit more,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do feel like 100% once we do lift silverware, I feel like this style of play, this style of football, you know, like as in isn't going to be desired. But I feel
Mm.
like sometimes you've got to be pragmatic to obviously get over the line, especially for the first time. You know, obviously having failed in the previous 3 seasons, you know, to you know, you obviously want to just get over the line, get the first
Yeah.
one, you know, and then obviously build from there. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that's
Yeah,
obviously gonna
honestly,
raise
that
their game.
Carabao Cup is actually really important to me, man. Because I think with Arteta too, we've gone through those periods at the start where like we're in a title race, no one really expects it, so the cups go to the wayside. We're like, you know what, that's fine. We had a couple of years of that. We've had going down to the wire, City pip us the title, and at the end of the season, we look and we say that now we have nothing for the main thing that we were aiming for. So I feel like for me, the energy this season really needs to be every cup competition. Where there's no cup that's beneath us. We need to be trying to pick up every single trophy. So that cup final, I expect us to really go for it. And again, like you say, maybe my reservation on the free flowing team. I don't know. Someone part of me also put like Arteta and his vision. I don't know how free flowing he will ever be. If I'm being honest, like aside from the I guess like the players getting silverware, I think they'll definitely be a lot more confident. And definitely they'll know that they can do it now, but I don't know how much it really changes how we play. But again, I think we also need to kind of evolve a bit, kind of going back to the previous question also this summer in terms of like what we also want to be now if we do manage to get over the line. Like, because I also don't think this football is also sustainable again to go into next season now where it needs to be like maybe a set piece for us to break open a game. We're still struggling through open play. Like, I think those changes still need to be had, and it definitely will be improved when there's more confidence because the players have done it 100%. So yeah, and I think that cup final for me is very important. Very, very important.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, as in, I 100% agree with you. I think it's gonna be down to, you know, like, at the end of the day, like as in the personnel that you have is obviously gonna dictate how you play as well, right? You know, so but I think, you know, definitely starting from you know, next weekend, you know, with the cup final, and obviously being able to get over there, you know, is obviously going to start, you know, hopefully a dynasty, man, and a good era as well, you know. So, you know, you get over the
Especially
line
Pep leaves this year.
yeah, man.
Yeah,
Oh, you get over the
man, we
line
could
of
be
the cup
going into a
final,
sweet,
you know.
yeah, man,
If we
sweet few
if we
years.
secure the Premier League, on top of that as well, you know, game by game, you know, we just obviously have to do our job, man. So yeah, man.
I think final thing before we wrap it up, because I saw another question by Jim Legacy. Personally, I think the entire main striker will never work under Arteta. I really can't figure out why. It just doesn't seem that he can figure it out. In my opinion, he's just never cracked that code. And honestly, yeah, the striker position has definitely been the position that's definitely plagued Arteta throughout his 6 years here so far. In my opinion, I think his perfect striker is more someone like Havertz, who can be a part of the build-up and game. But again, we need that other side of the clinicalness, which I don't know what you think, but especially in the form he's been in recently, I really feel like the player that we should have really gone for is João Pedro, man. In terms of that profile of player that is good enough to be part of your build-up, that can get you up the pitch, but also is good enough in opposition's box as well to also get you headers, get you goals. So I think that's probably the striker he really wants. I feel like he's not got that. Like, even like with like Jesus, I think that's what Jesus is also meant to be for us before all the injuries. I think Gyökeres was like changing of what he really wanted. Like, realize, okay, I need to change something. And obviously, probably pressures from like Brighton, everyone like, okay, he's the one that's available, he's the one that's ready. You're gonna have to kind of adapt to him also, and that's why Gyökeres came in. But I don't think Gyökeres is an Arteta type striker. And I think if he had, he's like the guy that that fits his profile. I think that's when we could see a main striker. I mean, the issue now is that no one fits it perfectly. Is why we have this mismatch of Havertz, Jesus, and Gyökeres right now. But yeah, I don't know. We're gonna wrap that up.
No. For me, I don't rate João Pedro as highly. But again, it's that type of player. You know, I think Ekitike, to be honest with you, man. I feel like as in just that type of profile. You know, like as in, he knows where the goal is, and but he can obviously contribute in the build-up. So I think he's a player, or the type of player that I feel like would have been a really, really good signing for Arsenal and for Arteta. But I feel like it seems like the type of player or the type of ball that Arsenal want to play, or under Arteta rather, is death by 1,000 cuts. Like as in, Timber's going to score here, Ben White's going to score here, Zimmerman is going to get a goal here, Rice is going to chip in. So everyone's obviously going to chip in. So I don't think like as in with, and that's the thing. Again, I actually want to counteract your point just before we shoot off, right? But it's I feel like I'm hopeful that Arteta can obviously change his play style, because he has had that 21-22 season, man, which was a fun season for all of us. And I feel like maybe he's trying to. No, but maybe, like I mentioned before, no, you're good. But I was gonna say maybe he just wants to get over the line, man. Let me get that prem. You get what I'm saying? So we've got that monkey off our back, and then we can go again. And I'm hoping, like I said, we'll starting with Leverkusen in midweek, and then the cup final or next weekend. We can get over the line in those games. You get what I'm saying? We're already got one trophy in the bag, and we can obviously go through in the last 16. Man.
Yeah, but we need to definitely towards in the season, we need to definitely have another call, man. Definitely see how things are going, and because I don't even know how I'm going to behave if we manage to pick up this Prem, or we manage to pick up a Champions League. I don't even know how I'm going to behave, man, for the suffering that we suffered. Like, it's going to be, I might cry. Honestly,
there was some dark times, man. I'm telling you, there were some dark times, man.
But it's like, we're close, man. We just need to get over the line this year, but we're really close to our monumental, historic season. Like, I think that's one thing that we can definitely say. That. So yeah, man, just have to enjoy the ride.
One game at a time, man. One game at a time, man.
Enjoy the journey.
Leverkusen next. You know what I mean?
And
we'll go from there, man.
Nah. But thank you very much, anyway, Abdul, man. A great conversation as always. So thank you. I know it's very impromptu. We just said, yeah, hey, man, why not? I think it's made for a good conversation anyway. So yeah, we'll definitely be back soon to see how things are going and see whether it is really looking like it's going to be a historic year for us. But no, thank you for tuning in. Is there anywhere that people can find you? Anyone who tunes into this? Anything that you're doing?
Listen, you find me right here, man. So just hit like, hit subscribe. You get what I'm saying? I think obviously, look, Arsenal are doing good things, man. And when Arsenal are doing good things, me and Asa are going to be here to talk about it, man.
100%, man. And thank you to everyone also who's been in the comments. We appreciate it. It helps us, the show to flow, good conversation. So really appreciate it, man. If you're watching this live, watching this later, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, man, hopefully join us on this journey as we kind of head towards a hopefully amazing end to the season. But on that, peace, people. Thank you very much for tuning in.